This is INCRadio, DCEM 954, the voice of truth, the official radio station of the Church of Christ, or Iglesianicristo.
Welcome to How You Doin, a health and wellness podcast from INCRadio New York Satellite Studio. Whether you're on the go or taking a minute to breathe, we've got real tips, good conversations, and help you live well without losing your city pace. Are you ready?
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in to INCRadio New York Satellite Studio, where our new program is How You Doin. And of course, we're going to start off our show with my little tiny mic today. So everyone's tuning in, give my tiny mic a little woo. So today's episode, we're going to be talking about proteins, plants, and pleasure, and what really fuels you. So we really hope that you are still very interested into our program, because we love to talk about health and wellness and how we can apply this into our everyday life. So when it comes to this topic for today's episode, we're going to try and help all our listeners simplify nutrition by focusing on what to add. Instead, everyone is ready to tune into our episode today. And of course, with me is our host and my sister, Abby. How are you doing today?
Hello, Brother Christian. I am doing very well today. This topic, I know diet and nutrition is a very interesting topic for those who wants to, eat healthier or lose weight, or just be feeling good with what they're putting in their bodies. So I'm excited to talk about it today.
And of course, we also have Brother Lance for a rare sighting. Hi, Brother Lance.
It's like a rare sighting of a polar
Like
bear.
vegetables.
It's
Eating
like
vegetables.
a rare sighting of vegetables. But yes, hello everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everyone tuning in. For us up here, it is getting cold. It is so.
Yes.
Be on the lookout for winter.
It was really cold here in.
So hopefully we have some warmer weathers, but before healthy foods, right, Brother Christian?
Yeah, we're going to talk about proteins, plants, and pleasure and how it fuels us. So I'm really excited to talk about this. And of course, as always, we have our segment here on How You Doin'. We have the Where You At segment later on, and this is where you are able to showcase your local congregation by answering the question of the day, which is, how can you include proteins, plants, and something you genuinely enjoy on your plate? Please add your name and your local congregation. Remember hashtags. So you still do hashtags. I can't stop you, but we're just letting you know. You can't really do that. But before we move, Sister Abby, you should it's where you at? So
Yes, I'm at Bristol, Connecticut. So shout out to Bristol and Johnsonville. So highlight or recognize the top local congregation or extension. So again, as Brother Christian said, that we aren't and there's no spamming. So remember to just put your comment or say hi, give us a shout out. With your name, answer, and local congregation, and the local with the most entries will win. And so we'll see who is the top winner for this week's show, and we'll announce the next week. We'll announce the top winner for the month. So for last week, our top, we'll see which one can unseat for ourselves, or it'll be for ourselves again. But yeah, comments moving and type away, and we'll announce the winners.
we're still waiting. We're still waiting for that traveling trophy, Brother Lance. Any update on that?
Yeah, it's actually currently being printed. It smells like plastic out here. So there's just to give you a brief preview of what's gonna be in that trophy. There's the Empire State in there. and there is the city landscape. So uh, once the final is done, we'll show you the actual trophy. But it is getting printed. The smell is a little right next to the computer.
Viewer discretion is advised, is not harming our environment, but
Yeah,
plastics
yes,
is.
These are recycled plastics, so we are asking. We are recycling recyclables.
Guess on to our main topic.
Yes, our main topic again is our plants protein and how it fuels us in our everyday. Well, we've all tried eating healthy, right? But it always seems to come with things that we can't eat. I know if Sister Mika was on, she'll be like, I can't eat this. I can't eat that. So today we're going to change that. And hopefully, when Sister's talking about. So what if eating well was about adding and not restricting, right? I mean, I'm very interested in learning about adding more food to my plate. I guess the first question is learning about our three P's. It's already in the title of our episode today: protein, plants, and pleasure. So, I guess for all of us here, why is protein such a big deal for feeling full?
Well, I think protein is, it helps keep you full longer. It stabilizes blood sugar and it fuels your muscles. And, it gives steady energy throughout the day. So having protein in your diet is actually pretty good in order to sustain your hungers. Because I can only, when people are hungry, eat chips or whatever. And that doesn't really sustain your or feeling full. So having protein that kind of makes you feel full. Other like sugars and stuff like that. It's important to include in your diet.
Oh, Brother Christian just won.
Sorry, I was like trying to unmute and then it didn't work. Anyways, thank you, Ate Abby. But also, I just wanted to add on. Protein is also a great way for our bodies to heal and recover, especially like if you're coming from a workout, for example, playing sports, right? The main way to heal your gym, I feel like someone will always say, drink your protein shake right after, something like that, So, but we're talking about healthy protein, so protein shakes that may be good for others. So, that's what we're talking about, and it's a great way for our muscles and our body to heal.
Yeah. And it's not only like animal meat, like chicken, also like plant proteins such as tofu, beans, lentils, even Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, nuts and seeds. They also have a lot of protein. So if you want to, minimize the amount of animal meat that you consume, you can have like plant protein. And I think there's also plant-based protein powder if you want to also, be mindful of that. Or options if you don't want to consume like animal products.
Since we're on the topic of protein, the next question is, for someone who does protein fixes, let's go with Ate Abby because we know what she does in this profession is.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I really like to that sounds good. Canned tuna fish is a good source of protein. Also, like I baked chicken. That's kind of easy go-to things. I've been incorporating a lot of beans and lentils. Like I add lentils to my rice to give extra protein. Unfortunately, I know there's a lot of diet plans or like meal plans that include dairy products like Greek yogurt or cottage cheese. But I can't really consume that because it hurts my stomach. So I guess my go-to is really I guess like baked chicken. What are your go-to?
What I know you have what's your go-to protein fix?
It depends. It depends on the day, I guess. For me, I do like my steaks and fishes or fried pork. Not that it's super healthy, but it's a good source of protein. It depends on how you cook it, I guess, on how it can be unhealthy or healthy for you also. So you really gotta weigh your options. I mean, there's always a good way, a little bit healthier than the other. Fried pork is probably not the healthiest way to like. Maybe if you air fry it so that you can get most of the oil out, but it's
I know
hard.
it's hard. Like, go ahead.
I definitely because for me, I love pork. You know, that's my favorite go-to protein. But again, rather than cooking it in oil, which already you know, deep frying it really, it's really the best way to cook it, right? Cooking it. So um, yeah. All right. Well, moving on. If everyone says that we should eat more plants, but it can feel a little bit overwhelming sometimes, right? So what's the simplest way for us to without stressing about it? Yes, clear lens. Well, let's start with clear lens this time.
I mean, salads are pretty easy to get here, especially up here in the United States. I'm not sure in other countries like more often, but ready-to-go salads are pretty easy to get up here. Like, you can just go to any supermarkets; they'll have ready-to-go pack. You can choose your own flavors and choose your own kinds of veggies that's included. Certain stores have more fancier than the others. Certain call this restaurants has fancier food than the others, or fancier salads than the others. But also be careful because there's like as much as packed with a lot of dressing, so be on the lookout on that. It's better if you build your own kind of salad. I think for me, so at least there you have some sort of control on how much salad dressing they put on it and what kind of goes into it. Some people, they say eating salad is healthy, but you see some people putting a whole bottle of ranch in there. At that point,
I mean, it's true. It's true. You know, and it's just looking out, watching what we put into our plates. You know, and I guess at the Abbey, would you consider these just as good as fresh? If you know how some people would also add those into their.
I I love frozen vegetables because it's just so convenient to store. Because fresh vegetables, they spoil quickly or however, and like you feel that you have to eat it in like a certain amount of time, and sometimes like if it's in bulk or whatnot, it's hard, it's difficult. So it is good, and sometimes how they cook it or they freeze it, it still in the vegetable, you know. So you're still getting the important nutrients and vegetables as if it's frozen compared to like fresh. It's like almost the same. Blanch it and then freeze it on your own or whatnot. So those for later, if you want to have some corn or vegetables or broccoli, you can unfreeze it and add it to like soups or your smoothies or whatever you want to add vegetables to.
Broccoli in my smoothie?
Spinach. I used to add spinach to my smoothie. I know that sounds kind of interesting combination, but like even people use kale, right? Kale, they put kale.
Yeah, kale.
I heard bitter
Yeah.
melon also. Like some people add bitter melon into their fruit smoothies.
It helps with like your sugar, your glucose or your sugar researchers saying about bitter melon.
Yeah, and if you're not familiar with frozen veggies, documentaries out there that kind of tells you like the process and the invention of the frozen veggies. I think it was invented at the same time as refrigerators started coming out into public. It's a pretty neat process of how like they pack it and how the over time. It wasn't just one company that developed it. It was, I think, multiple companies that kind of had their own way of developing how to freeze veggies immediately because I think they freeze it right at when it's peak freshness, so it holds that freshness for until you unfreeze. So sometimes it's a good way, especially like if you're in an area where groceries are not as accessible or like fresh veggies is not accessible, then it's another way to access that veggies because certain areas it's very hard for them to commute and it's hard for them to fresh veggies also. So that might be another thing for those who are trying to get fresh veggies but don't want to have the hassle of getting absolutely fresh veggies from the supermarket.
Well, now that we've talked about proteins, plants. Now let's move on to pleasure. Why is enjoyment in eating as important as the nutrients that we're taking in?
It's be consistent. You won't be upset with your food.
Right.
Food is to nourish you, but you also have to enjoy your food because then you'll be more apt to continue on with what you're eating. That's good. That's what I think. Why I think a lot of diets fail because you're restricting yourself. It's like, well, yeah, you can eat a cookie, but don't eat like the whole sleeve of it. In moderation. And just be mindful. Like, don't sit in front of the TV and start like eating half a bag of chips. Like, even though that makes you happy, but it's also not good for you.
Sorry, that just hurt my feelings.
I know, like we all do it. When you have a bad day, you just want to like sit in front of the TV or whatever. Like probably also eat a carton of ice cream just to make yourself feel better. But like you can do it once in a while, but that shouldn't be like a daily thing.
Yeah.
Everyone,
As much as cookies and cream with malt shake is good, healthy habits.
Yeah.
but yeah, I do agree that force yourself to eat something and then not enjoy it. You have to. But that's why I try small portions of things and not like give myself a big portion right out the get go. Right, like you gotta try it out first. If you like it, then continue with it. And then if you don't like it, then obviously don't. So it's like, figure out ways on how you can make eating more fun for you, but also in a healthy way. Encourage those that are trying to change their feeling guilty about it. You're a chef. How would you tell people that would eat your food?
I think you have to eat all your veggies all at once. Like, if it's a stale tasting veggies, then it's probably not gonna be done. Like if it's just boiled or like if it's just blanched, there's really no taste to it. So you gotta add a little bit of flavor. But again, at the same time, you have to be in moderation with the saltiness, with the other flavors that you add into it, because as healthy as it can be, you can also make it very unhealthy by just adding a bunch of other condiments into the food itself. So you really gotta find your balance in terms of how to cook it, how to serve it. So the portion sizing is also very important. I mean, like, yeah, you can have a bucket at the same time. You might be eating too much calories for the day for your body, and so so just like eat what you can and eat what feels good for your body at the same time.
It's okay to have your sweet treat again. And also you can pick like you have to go you can like rotate your favorite food throughout the week, or you have like a favorite protein and favorite vegetable, and then you just change it up just a little bit. It's like, oh, I really like corn, but let me do, or like let's say potatoes. Like potatoes is pretty good. I like it. You can have it fried, but not a lot. Or you can do baked potato, and then if you do a baked potato, you can add like all the vegetables, a little bit more enjoyable to eat. You can, and then you just change it up. So and just be mindful of what you add. Again, don't eat a whole bottle of, even though you really like ranch. But again, not really.
Yeah, I mean, especially with like Filipino food, it's a pretty well balanced diet. You get like so, but at the same time, some people will eat uh, like a mountain of rice with like very little like side dish to it. So again, you have to balance it out. It's not like, and some people also when they cook, they use a ton of MSG. So the even though they cook it the ingredients are very healthy, but once you start adding all that sodium into it, that's when everything starts kind of going south. So also, if you're the one cooking, just be wary on how much you are adding. Just give it enough to be tasty, but you want to retain all the goodness from the fresh veggies and also the protein. Then as much as possible, use natural ingredients rather than using like ready to go packaged. You don't know how much sodiums are on those and what kind of ingredients and other synthetic into it.
I you said you started palpitating, but it's just because we're at the end of our episode. But again, thank you for sharing, and also for we hope that for all those tuning in, you are able to learn something from all of the things that we've talked about between the proteins that we eat, the plants that we eat in our diets, and of course, how we pleasure ourselves in eating all of these and through all of these lifestyle changes that we're trying to do by eating healthier. For
We have What You Doing, but for this week we don't have to show to everyone. But if you would like to show us more pictures and to see what we are doing, not only in our district, but if you have families around the world that would like to send us pictures staying up healthy, how you're doing exercising, or if you're having a family bonding of some sort that promotes healthy ways of promoting your good health, then send us those pictures or even videos, short clips. We do really appreciate those since we can showcase the brethren and we can also show how ways of exercising, especially now that we're kind of coming in towards the winter months, so everyone's starting to shift exercising. So it might be more harder to keep a healthy life balance living in this northeast area when the cold weather starts getting into it to really keep up with your exercise. But if you do want to send us your exercising, send us to bit.ly, and the link is bit.ly NYK What You Doing, and we will, if we get that, we will post it in our next show.
And remember, doing does not have the G, so it's just DOIN. What you doing? And of course, for next week, share. We want to see one meal that includes all three of the things that we've talked about. So proteins, plants, and pleasures. So we want to see those. So make sure you share. Right, Brother Lance? It's that time.
Yes, it is that time of the days. That time of the days. It is time to close out. And this is all for our show today. Thank you again for tuning in, giving us a platform to share and speak about important and interesting topics. Executive Minister Brother Eduardo B. Manalo and our current Deputy Executive Minister Brother Uranio Manalo, and also greetings to our INC radio station manager Brother Wally Tarai and our executive producer Kuya Manley Andaya. Take it away, Brother Christian.
And of course, we would also like to greet our District Minister, Brother Sheridan Santos, our Assistant District Minister, Brother Neil Patrick Amelda, and our CFO Advisor, Brother Jason Flores. Remember, no one reaches their health goals alone, so find your circle, be that support for others. Let's grow healthier together, and you be healthier in our lives. So until next time, don't forget to catch us at Eastern Daylight Time or Sunday at 11:30 p.m. Philippine Time, right here on.
Bye-bye, everyone.
My tiny mic will be back next week.
Nakikinig sa Iglesia ni Cristo Radio, DCEM 954, ang